Another Saturday, another big name movie hits the HBO libraries. Honestly, I'm really impressed with the quality of movies that they're bringing into their library. If you have an HBO Max subscription, I don't think that you are mad that you are paying for a subscription because of the quality of the movies. They brought in Ad Astra a couple of weeks ago, Ford v Ferrari this week, and next week they'll have Dr. Sleep. By the by, I'm Valentin Mangold, the movie guy, and let's start this review for Ford v Ferrari. The story follows two characters. Carroll Shelby is a driver that has some medical problems. His heart beats way too fast for long races, which means that he could risk having a cardiac arrest, so now he goes into the car sales business. Ken Miles is a British mechanic who also likes to race cars. The story also involves the Ford company. Henry Ford II wants to make something new for Ford as their sales have gone down drastically. Lee Iacocca comes up with the idea to go into racing and make a partnership with Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari, however, refuses them and insults Henry Ford II, who now wants to win Le Mans just to shut Enzo up. They hire Carroll Shelby to design a car, Ken Miles to drive it, and they hope to win. Usually, I like to start with some negative points. There aren't any. This movie has a big runtime at 2 hours and 32 minutes. Every little minute feels important. The hours fly by and no scenes feel like it can be cut out. The characters feel real and they're nicely developed. I guess that it is easier to build characters when they're based on someone real and you just have to show their personality as it was. Ken Miles is pretty hard to work with, similar to the actor that portrays him, Christian Bale. We see him in the first 10 minutes give a customer a hard time, barking at a guy who inspects his vehicle for a racing event. He bashes his trunk with a hammer and throws a wrench at his windshield. So yeah, he can be hard to work with, but he's a really good racer. The dialogue feels very organic and engaging. I was watching this movie, which as I've previously said is 2 hours and 34 minutes long, and I didn't know where the time went. It was that good. I love the witty insults that Ken has to make about every vehicle that he sees, especially the Ford ones. He even tells a Ford executive that Chevrolet has better cars. He is nasty and I loved Ken. The best thing that I can say about this movie, or any movie for that fact, is that it made me feel something. I was rooting for Ford to win this because I understood why Ford wanted to win, because they felt disrespected and they wanted to have the last laugh. I wanted Ken Miles to drive the car and win the Le Mans because he's an excellent driver, excellent mechanic. From the moment that you see him, he always knows what is wrong with a car and how to make it better. I wanted Shelby to have his glory moment as the man that built the car that beat a Ferrari because of how unselfish he is. He tries very hard to make not only Ford's life better, but Ken's as well. I like the way that the story took a turn for the worse for Ken when the Ford execs didn't want him racing their car, because it made sense. He also insulted Ford. They said that he doesn't look like a Ford driver, and I understood where they came from. It didn't feel like they added this in just for some extra intrigue. The driving scenes in this movie are absolutely adrenaline pumping. Every moment you feel that anyone can crash, including the protagonist. The cars are going fast. You almost feel like it is you who is driving. What time is it? It's time to drop some knowledge, guys. In preparation for his role as Ken Miles, Christian Bale took driving lessons at the Bondurant High Performance Driving School. In addition to the driving, he also got to hear a lot of stories about Ken Miles from the founder of the school, who was friends with Ken. Matt Damon has said that the number one reason why he accepted this movie was so that he can work with Bale. And while pitching the idea of a Ford racing car in 1963, Lee Iacocca notes that James Bond doesn't drive a Ford. Bond does end up driving a Ford Mustang in Thunderball, which is in 1965, and Diamonds Are Forever in 1971. The two leads are enough to bring in anybody, with Matt Damon playing Carroll Shelby and Christian Bale playing Ken Miles. The accent on Matt Damon is fantastic. And I thought that Christian Bale was American and I was impressed with his British accent. But he's actually from Wales, so yeah, I got some egg on my face for that one. John Bernthal is also in this movie. He plays Lee Iacocca. I love John Bernthal. He can play a supporting character really well. He can be the action star. I would call him underrated, but he isn't really, is he? He gets a lot of high profile roles and he deserves them. I want to talk about two scenes. Number one, Lee Iacocca's speech to make racing cars for Ford was incredible. John Bernthal, who plays Lee, was great in it. His smile spoke 1,000 words, but what he said was even better. He said that Enzo Ferrari will go down in history as the best car manufacturer because he made the best cars, not the most cars. The Ferraris won Le Mans 4th out of the last 5 times. His cars symbolize victory, and Ford need to take a page out of their book. And the second scene, the Daytona driving scene, is not just my favorite scene of the movie, but it is one of the best driving scenes in any movie, period. It's that good. The suspense is what gets you. The feel of the race is so real, the cars are so fast, the driving stunts are excellent. I tell you, I'm kinda glad that I don't have a driver's license, cause if I had one, I would have gotten some speeding tickets tonight. I am honestly speechless after watching this movie. Yeah, sex is great, but have you ever watched a movie that is a roller coaster of emotions and at the end you're a bit mad that you watched it because next time you won't be as surprised by it as the first time? Switching gears now, my alternative pick is Rush, another racing movie that is also very adrenaline inducing. So, my rating for Ford v Ferrari is 5 stars.